Friday night, time for crafts and pure delight. Paper, scissors, let's get started. With vintage tape, we'll be wholehearted. Every honey deserves her day in the sun, with enamel in circles and punch stars too. In the Late Night Crafty Club, it's all for you. Glue sticks ready, let's make a plan. Planners in the office, supplies in hand. Honey half-season, whimsy arrows, crafting magic like true heroes. Every honey deserves her day in the sun, with enamel dots, we're ready for fun. Layer in circles and punch stars too. In the Late Night Crafty Club, it's all for you. Let's create a scene. Join the club where we live our dreams. So grab your scissors and come along. Together we'll craft and sing our song. Every honey deserves her day in the sun, with enamel dots, we're ready for fun. Layer in circles and punch stars too. In the Late Night Crafty Club, it's all for you. It's all for you. Slip into jammies, grab something to sip. Stickers and golden scissors, let's take a crafty trip. The playbook's open, with listers got a list. In this crafty paradise, our dreams coexist. Every honey deserves her day in the sun, with enamel dots, we're ready for fun. Layer in circles and punch stars too. In the Late Night Crafty Club, it's all for you. It's all for you. Cards and pockets display our creativity. 32-pound paper, so smooth and buttery. Scrapture cards help your ideas flow. What will you make during the Late Night Crafty show? Cards and pockets display our creativity. 32-pound paper, so smooth and buttery. Scrapture cards help your ideas flow. What will you make during the Late Night Crafty show? It's all for you. It's all for you.
Hello, and welcome to the Late Night Crafty Club. Welcome to my little space here in the back of my RV. And so pause there for a second as I struggle to get the window shut. Let me see here. Here we go. I'll just leave it open a little bit. There we go. Okay, hello, welcome. Hi. It is so good to see you. I see all your little faces in the chat room. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy January and happy 2025. We're all here in this this particular year. I feel like my camera is really off to the side. I don't know. I feel like I want to slide it over a little bit. Is that there? See what I'm saying? Like now that's better. That's better. I also have a different light on in here, so now it's kind of like warm. How well it will do in other, in different circumstances. We'll have to see. So let's say hi to our friends. Let's scroll up to the top. Hello, Miss Patricia. Hi, Terry. Hi, Miss Angela. Haven't seen your face in a while. Hello, Miss Robin. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Marie Louise. Hello, Miss Sherry, hello. Melanie, hi Shelly. Hi Lynn, hello Samantha. Hi Edie, hello Penny. Hi Sean. Hello Melanie. Hello Julie. Hi Annabelle. Hi Heather. Hi Denise. Hi Chris. Hello Miss Lisa down under. Oops. Sorry. Hello Miss Janice. So Canada has clocked in. Hello, Miss Jamie Rose. Hi Diana. Hi Hello Hope. Hello Shelly K. Hi Shelly. Or hi Kathy Dotson. Hi Ray. Hello Jonna. Hi Lacey in Nova Scotia. Hello Susan. Hi Lady Madame Under. Hello Jennifer Myers. Hello Shauna. Hi Jenny Young. It's good to see your little face. Hi Benita. Somebody, Jennifer Myers, you got snow in Alabama? Wow. Very cool. Hi, Miss Bonnie in Dallas. Um, yeah, it's definitely not snowy here. It's rainy. I'm not going to complain. I would like some snow, but I'll be happy with rain. Rain is better than what, what what I was normally getting. So I have my windows open so that I can wear my flannel jammies. Let's see. Well, thank you, Angela. She says she loves my crown. Jonna says that we have lots of snow in Mississippi. What the heck? Hi, Sharon Sullivan. Hi, Michelle Massey. Wow. Hi, Deborah Peterson. Snow in Dallas too. Well, interesting. I think I did hear something about some interesting weather storm situation that is now coming back to me. That is now coming back to me. That must. Oh, I saw this crown. What was I looking at? Did I get it on Amazon? I probably did. I'm obsessed, you guys. You may have noticed there's a lot of crowns. I have a lot of honeys wearing crowns lately. I'm obsessed. Obsessed. There's this really cute little crown in my arsenal, and I've been putting it on everybody's head. You got a crown? You got a crown? So, yeah, I don't know. I can't tell you that it means anything in particular. I'll make up a reason. I'll make up a story for it. Just you wait. But I just feel like it's a glittery, sparkly new year, and it just fits. It just feels like a fresh beginning. Doesn't it just feel fun? Crowns just feel fun. There's something to me, and I'm sure this is true for you too, but don't they kind of just remind you of childhood? Because that's pretty much the only reason why any of us ever really had a crown. The little plastic kind. Do you remember those little plastic crowns that they had in the grocery store, in the little toy section in the grocery store? Those are the kind of crowns I'm thinking of, and it just felt like special when you wore them as a little kid. There's just a little bit of that magic, and they've just been a real delight. They're in all of this. They're in everything. The girl of January, Miss January, she is sporting one. They're everywhere. So. Yeah. So I decided to get myself one. I'm very branded for my January theme. Fresh beginnings. Faces. Hi, Maureen. Let me see here. Ooh, thanks, Angela. Angela just signed up. And Benita signed up. I saw your little face, Benita. Thank you for signing up too, which is really good timing, you ladies. I do want to talk about the Clubhouse tonight because let's see, on the 25th, the 24th or the 25th. Okay, coming date of the tea party, our first official tea party that I am hosting in the Explorer level of our membership. And that's going to be really fun, I think. And it is going to be, it's going to be where we get some stuff done. I'd like to say it's where you get your money's worth. But I think I want to take you on a teeny bit of a tour on the inside of the Clubhouse. I'm going to peel back the curtain so you can actually see inside the Explorer's Lounge. I did check. It is clean. I did tidy up before. So I'm going to give you a quick little look and let you see, like when you enter, just see the navigation really quick. I did make a printable tool for members. And I realized that even though I make these things, people may not realize they're there. I put mail in there to let people know, hey, I made this tool. I don't necessarily know if people know it's there. So I did want to call attention to that tonight. To kick things off, I did want to do that if you don't mind. And I have been a busy bee. So before we do that, I do want to preface this evening by letting you know a few things. Over almost all the graphics are brand new. I updated all the graphics. I put fresh copy everywhere. I kind of had to do it while everybody was in the Clubhouse, which is not fantastic, but I had no choice. So, and then I made printables and I revamped everything. And so that all happened. And then I went and updated the Reset Girl website. So that is all freshened up. Then I went and made brand new newsletters for the Late Night Crafty Club and the new Reset Girl newsletter. Every little thing I'm doing takes time to learn how to do it, learning how to make graphics and learning how to use the software. So everything I'm doing is like a snail's pace. It's like Shelley. It's like literally slow design. So I did send out 2 newsletters this week. I made a printable. I sent that out as well. You saw all fresh ads for our Late Night Crafty Club, so you would see freshness. I wanted everything. Literally was sitting down a half hour before the show, and I feel so discombobulated. I don't even know where my craft supplies are. I have no memory. An LNCC. So I'm literally sitting here going, what was I crafting? Where did everything go? I'm sitting here trying to pull them from that. I'm so what's the word? I feel flustered. So this is not normally how I like to start the show. I like to start the show in this peaceful place. And I'm usually sitting here for at least a couple hours where I've taken my time to gather my supplies and get myself in a nice little cozy headspace. And I'm all prepared to hang out with my girlfriends. That just didn't happen. And now I feel prickly heat everywhere. And I feel extremely, um, I feel flustered. So I thought, you know what? I don't feel very crafty at the moment. So what I thought I would do after our tour and after I show you a couple of things, I thought I would do what I said I was going to do last time, which was to go through some of my stuff that I've crafted in the past. Now, this is actually a good lesson, I think. This is a good example because I have said this many times is to myself, to you, to all of us, is that sometimes you will find yourself not feeling the most inspired, the most crafty. And what happens is time will pass and then you become more and more distant from your craft supplies and your craft stuff. And if you let too much time pass in between your crafty self and your busy self, like there's just too much space comes in between you and your crafty self, you're going to just be a stranger unto that person. You know what I mean? So this is a good way when you start feeling a little distant from yourself. It's a good way to reacquaint yourself with your skills, a good way to re-inspire yourself because sometimes you don't need Pinterest. Sometimes if you've got stuff around that you can access, I love Pinterest, don't get me wrong. And it's really fun to lay in bed and look at Pinterest. But sometimes it's also cool to be able to re-inspire yourself looking at your own stuff if you can. So that's what I'm going to do. I think it's a good opportunity. It's a good little learning tool also because I could take photos of everything and then put it online and then I could Pinterest all of it. And one day I should do that. I should get everything I've made online because that is a good thing to do. So but I also think that flipping pages is fun too. So let's see. Hi, Cece. Good to see you. Hi, Lillian. Hi, Miss Jenny and Miss Jennifer Gober. Hi, Margaret. Hi, Annie. And we're going to go for a quick little trip. Okay. So I'm going to take you into the Clubhouse. so that you can see it's only January 10th. So the doors are always open. You can join whenever you want. You don't have to wait for a certain time, which is nice. We're not doing that thing anymore where we would just every 3 months we would open it. Now it's open all the time. And I changed the membership so that there's 2 levels. There's a $5 level and a $15 level. The $15 level includes our brand new Cozy Craftivity Journal, which is a $10 journal. So right there, you're getting that in your membership with an awesome bonus. So you're getting a private live stream with moi. With moi. So let's go inside. Okay. And I'm going to share you with my screen. Okay. So I'm pretty sure it's kind of like being inside of a Facebook group, but right here on the side now, and also mind you, right now you're not seeing the mobile version, you're seeing a desktop version. So it is a little different how it looks, but it's mostly the same. So right here is the main navigation. It's this side thing here. If you see me moving my mouse up and down. So right here where it says start here, and right here, you've entered the Clubhouse roadmap. So right here, this is the whole thing where I spell out everything you see here in this side panel here. It's all defined for you here. I'm explaining what all of those things mean. So it's like this over here is all of this over here. What is the Clubhouse Essentials? Well, I can find out by scrolling up, and there's what the Clubhouse Essentials is. So I defined all of it, almost like it's what is that word? I can't think of what that is. It's not a dictionary. I don't think that's the right word. That's not the right word I'm thinking of. But in any event, so anyway, this is the roadmap. And there's also a place right here. This little download here. There's also a printable version of this, so you can take it with you, put it in your little binder, so you have a printable version also to navigate. I think a glossary works. So look, at the very bottom, it takes you on to the Clubhouse Adventure in 2025. So we have this fun little story about what's going on in the Reset Girls Clubhouse Adventure. So it tells you what we're doing every quarter, I kept it quarterly because I didn't want to give you I want to keep some magic. So it just tells you what we're doing, what's the theme for the quarter, and then every single month has a chapter in this great big story that I'm telling for the whole year. And then there's 2 different paths. You can choose the Explorer's Journey or the Member's Path, which is kind of like Explorer's Light, and what those things include. And then there's our creative community, and then you go on to visit the Clubhouse Essentials. And then this is like getting set up in the Clubhouse, how to post and search, what are the rules, how to use the Zoom function. Here's our help desk, which if you click on this, there's a whole bunch of how do I do this, how do I do that. And then you get to come here to home base. And the first one is this chat room. I'll just skip to the next thing. And then this is the $5 level. It's called the Members Nook. And here's a fun little description and a little picture. It's a little cute little nook. And here's a little story about the nook. And it just tells you blah, blah, blah. And then here's the little the modules that I want you to walk through so that you have a little story for you and explains to you what is going on in here. And then here is where the little story for January lives. And then here's the Explorers level. So you also have a place. It's a little fancier. It's a little more loungy. It also has a story. It's a much more detailed story, much more steps. And then you have the monthly chapter, and then there is some mail in there already. There's a chat. There's an event calendar in here because there's more going on in this place. And then you have forums. You have this whole area. This is all linked to our new Craftivity journal. So you have this thing called Community Connections. These are based on prompts. This is based on our Community Photo Challenge. This is based on our Craftivity Challenge. Blah, 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 blah. And then you get to share. You get to chat. We have happy homemakers and games. And You have the craft studio, which see this right here? It says live right here, this live button. It's because I have this right here. It's linked right now. I'm going live. I have it linked into the craft studio so that you are also reminded here that I'm going live. So that is the little Clubhouse. So it is an app that you can use on your phone. It's a self encapsulated app, and it is very it's very easy to navigate, and I think it's fairly easy to navigate. There's some functions I wish were a little different. It definitely platforms for doing things over the years. It has pros and cons to the last one we had, which was Envision was the other one we used for the forums as the alternative name for it. But I like this because it's an app. When you have to use a website, that's always a little bit more challenging. But I do have, let's go top down. So here's the printable roadmap. And so it's the whole thing. And I just laid it out so that I just recreated it basically as a printable. And I kind of explained what each of these little pieces were again, and just broke it out onto pages so that you could print it out and have it, because some people need more of that support. Back to Basecamp, more of that support. So I hope that is helpful, giving you an idea of what we have going on in there. So this will be the January that we just started. There is also a fantastic the Cozy Craftivity Journal. This is the little classic Happy Planner size, and then this is the letter size. So you could print it out. The file is actually set up, I think it's set up as a letter size, so it prints different ways. And then there are activity pages as an add-on in our store that you can do. You can add on to it and make it a fun little coloring pages. Yeah. So, to Jennifer, to your question, so the explorers and the members do not have access to each other's level. So whatever you've opted into is what you have, what space you have access to. If you were a supporter earlier and you haven't opted into either, then you would need to opt into one or the other, because otherwise you're just sort of, I think you're just by default a member. I did not want there to be any confusion, and there's no reason to be in that. You have the more robust version of that. So here's the little coloring pages. These are part of the add-on to our new little cozy craftivity journal. You can do little art journaling pages and mood boards. So that is a fun little add-on feature that we have that's available to everybody. It's not part of the membership level. And then here's the journal here. So I need to start filling mine out. So if you have on the 25th or the 24th, I can't remember which day it is, if you've not gotten yourself set up and you feel behind, you could use that tea party day as your designated time to sit down. To sit down and get set up with me, to kind of push everything away and just be like, I'm going to be present, spend this time getting myself set up for success. And then you'll get your little binder set up, whatever you've decided that you're going to do. I think sometimes, it is for me, is getting set up with the way I'm going to bind something is probably the number one question. And I'm fairly confident that is how it is for all of us. I think that's the number one question one asks themselves when they start camp, they start a retreat, they start anything that I've ever done, is how are you going to bind this? How are you going to print and bind it? So because it's definitely, thanks Jamie, it's the 25th. So Miss Benita asked about printing directions. What I have always suggested to people is to pre-cut your paper to the classic Happy Planner size, which is 7 inches by 9 1/4, and put that paper in the paper tray and print to size. That is my recommendation for if you have that type of printer. It's hard to tell people exactly what to do because printers are it's very specific to your printer. So what I would then suggest, if that doesn't work for you, if you can't tell your printer that you have a custom size paper, then I would Google your printer, the type of printer you have, and then tell it that you would like to print to that particular size paper. So I have just found that the best printing tip that I have ever gleaned from doing this so long is pre-cut paper has been I've probably been doing that since I would say 20 using that pre-cut paper. I'm trying to remember. No, paper. I took that because you know what it is? It's 32-pound paper. You usually have to go into the store and buy it. For a long time, it's a harder paper to get your hands on. So I would go buy it. It's not a paper they like keep behind the counter at FedEx or Office Max. They don't print to it automatically. It's not one of their papers that they offer. So you have to go purchase it and then take it up to them and then tell them to print to it. So that's why if they have it in their hand, why don't I just ask them to also cut some for me? And then I can just print myself when I'm at home. So they have that big commercial print cutter. So I believe that is how this all started, was having things printed for me by them is what led me to start asking. And so having some pre-cut paper next to your printer is magical. A5, that classic Happy Planner, whatever, if your printer gives you that ability, take advantage of it. You will never regret it. So Chris wants to know if his internet is lagging. Am I lagging? Am I spinning? Has anyone found me to be spinning? So I am not sure. I hope I am not spinning. Okay, the other thing I wanted to show you on my screen is this is my homepage currently. And this is our Cozy Craftivity Journal to purchase. But here is a place to sign up. Now, if you're already on our newsletter list, then you don't need to worry about this. But if you don't normally get my newsletter, this is it. That is right here. Sign up. So there's my newsletter. There is my Clubhouse signing up. So I just wanted to show you that right here. They're right at the top of the screen. You can't miss them. And I just sent out my newsletter for January, and when I did that, I included a freebie. I started off. I made a bunch of artwork a little earlier, maybe about a month ago, and so she was one of my girls. I've named her Gloria, and so I made this 5x7 art print of Gloria. I am going to start a fun little wall art collection, and she's part of it. So this is a 5x7 that you can frame, or you can just attach to the wall. So I gifted one of these to you if you are on my newsletter list. And so this went out to you. It went out on Wednesday, I believe. And then on Thursday, if you are signed up for my Late Night Crafty Club newsletter, that went out to you. So some of you knew there was a Late Night Crafty Club because you got the email. See, isn't that fabulous? If I remember to send it out, then anyone can start from now and make. So I really, really love that. So this was a thank you for being on my newsletter list. I have not sent a newsletter out in November or December. So terrible. So I'm a terrible newsletter sender. But mostly it was just because I was just so trying to get out, just trying to get everything ready for the Clubhouse to be turned over, which still wasn't on time. But that's what it has been. The last 2 months of my life have been all about trying to get the newsletter and have something to offer in the newsletter. I'm sorry, the Clubhouse. So I meant the Clubhouse this whole time. It's all been about the Clubhouse and getting something to offer, which ended up being this cozy craftivity journal. And I really, whether you decide to be in the Clubhouse or not, there you can just purchase the journal. The journals are so fabulous. I totally love them. I love how they turned out, and every single one of them is has a unique theme, will have unique prompts, and they will be going out. They'll be available slightly before the beginning of each month. So I will be beginning on February's. I'll be starting that this weekend. So, okay. And that's PP&P. Says Amazon also has the 120 GM paper at happy planner size. Perfection. So there is paper. I mean, personally, I would rather have paper that was just like already done for me that I could just buy on Amazon than have to go deal with that personally. Oh, Chris, tell Janice thank you. That is lovely. Jenny, it is in your newsletter. There is a button for it. It's in my, I'm sorry, it's in my regular The Reset Girl newsletter. The Late Night Crafty Club was just me telling you that, hello, you're about to have a Late Night Crafty Club. I put it in the other one as a thank you so much for being so kind to be on my list, because I've been such a terrible newsletter sender. Okay. Whew, let me grab this. Okay. So look what we found. I couldn't find this earlier. And it's my pocket art 2023. So, let me hang on. Let me make sure I have hit I do have notes. I took you on a tour, talked about the Clubhouse, updated the website, sent 2 newsletters. I showed you the art. I talked, yes. Yep. So just, yep. Okay. We're moving on. I've done all of the things I have on my notes. So, I don't know about you guys, but I have made myself a short list of the kind of like creative little crafty projects that I am most interested in working on in 2025. So I have about 4 things. So making mini wall art. I am very obsessed with this, like wall art that's like little framed wall art to like probably Gloria is probably the tallest or biggest wall art. Like a 5x7. This is about as big as I want to get, and then make everything like really small. So have like a really cute little gallery, like a little bitty miniature gallery. I am so obsessed with this idea, mostly because I have little walls. Like a RV has very, very minimal walls. And I probably have more walls back here than the average RV does. So I think that is more of, that works better for me. Also, I can't really nail things into the walls. So smaller frames, lightweight frames that I could put like fun tack to would like stick to the wall versus like nail it in. So doing little like small works of art. So in a lot of ways, that's like pocket art. Pocket art is appropriate for mini wall art. So if you're interested or down with that idea, that's what I'm mentioning all of this because these are things I think would be great to incorporate into the Late Night Crafty Club. Good for part of a retreat, which is making vision boards. I have there's vision boards in the activity pages, but there's also doing boards for like doing for like goals, or I like doing them for like representing a season, or I like doing them for projects. So like I have a lot of different, sometimes they're almost mood boards. So I like doing stuff like that. I did put pages like that in the activity pages. They were a part of the playbook before. So I thought those would be fun to do. That could be something if you're doing the tea party with me, that could be something that you work on, because that's a very, very, I love doing vision boards. I just think they're so fun. And then pocket art. I wanted to flip through my pocket art album. I don't know that I want to follow a prompt based challenge necessarily. I think maybe I might do things the way I do them with my cards, where I just sort of do whatever I feel like. I think that's probably a better way to go. So I think I want to kind of trade off between doing pocket art, and maybe, like I said, some of it will end up inside of a frame versus inside of a pocket. So making pocket art, and I can swap out. So some things I've made in here for my pockets, I could stick them in a frame, because you can just switch your little gallery around. If you have a little craft space, like let's say you don't have a craft room per se, but maybe, because not everybody has a craft room. I think personally that's probably that's a little bit more rare for people to have a whole room to themselves. It's a wonderful, glorious thing. But I think a lot of women might be more having like a little space. Maybe they have more of a corner of the room. They have part of their dining room. They have part of the living room. They have part of a room. Maybe it's like that might be a really great little way of freshening up your space, is making a fun little, there's that option. I'm totally trying to get more people on board with me to do mini art. Think I probably will put that in the store. I think that would be fun. So I am so inspired by some of the projects I have in my mind that I want to do. And I want to get myself organized. And the more I started thinking about like how I want to like plan stuff out and get like not just these type of goals together, but also my other goals, that's what kind of made me think, what if that time that it's going to take me to sit down and do that, maybe I should just have like a little weekend retreat where it's like a one-time thing, and it's like everyone sit down and let's do our goals together. I'm ruminating on that. I'm thinking that might be a fun thing to do. And so that's what I am doing currently. And I'm going to walk. I'm just going to show you some of I was going to go through a little walk of my pocket art. I haven't looked at it for a long time. I also have the majority of one of my gigantic junk journal that was like this. It was on the washi rings because it was so large. I had to break it down into pieces, and I have, I think, about 3/4 of it. I think I have, I don't know, 2/3 of it. I'm not sure how much I have of it, but I have some of it. It got distributed among different things so that I could hold on to it. So, okay, let me catch up to some of the comments. Thanks, Diana. Penny, I'm sorry. I don't know what you mean about like what you didn't receive exactly. Could you explain what that means? Um, and hi Andy. That would be so great. Yes. Mark has asked me to do that multiple times. So he would be really thrilled if I did that. Okay. So I'm going to go top down. Okay. So here we go. So he might come back here and tell me to turn on the other light, because I don't think he likes this light. I think he says it makes the lighting look bad. So I might just get ahead of it and just do it. Okay. I will just be this printable in this, if this is the one you're talking about, this is in the TRG newsletter I just sent out. So there is a button for it in the newsletter. Okay. So here we go. This was this was how I kicked off January in 2023. And looking at this, very nostalgic. I loved this project so much. I think what kind of made it hard was the filming schedule that I tried to keep up with. I think that is what kind of did me in. And this creative project, like creative theme of all of them. And I absolutely loved how Mark made a short of this page. It turned out so cool. He made me look cool. He, I did not come off as a dork. I looked cool on that one, in my opinion. And I just love this so much. I just love this layout so much. From Mr. Toad, or is this Wind in the Willows? Is that what that is? Um, and just like Lucy, this whole thing, the whole theme of it. I just absolutely love this layout, the whole fisherman. This was from the very first camp reset. This was the first time we ever stayed in that campground, and this was my birthday. And sorry, it's pretty shiny. It's kind of hard to see. So I was showing how to take a picture and cut it up into squares so that you could lay it out in that 9-pocket page that they have. So it's a single photo cut up. And it's me and the honey. To do is that grid. I still have not gotten tired of it. So another thing I love is doing the hexies. I guess the camera is over here, and that would probably be better if I did it that way. Hi, Misty. It's good to see your little face. So Jonna says she is finishing up her pocket art challenge this year. Edie says she actually finished this challenge. And there's my dad, my dad's little boy picture. I loved how this turned out, using the little library card, is that index card, little things as like a little like separator. So that was something I really liked doing, is using this to separate like which week was which. So this was to represent week 7. This was week 8, 9. This was super fun. This was like childhood stuff. I have a whole Pinterest board of all of my childhood everything. Anything I can find that I had as a kid, it's on this Pinterest board. And it is like down to like rubber bands that I had in my hair, barrettes, Avon stuff, candy, snacks. It is crazy. No matter what age, like what generation you're in, if you spend time doing that, the algorithm will reward you and it will just spit up so many pictures of stuff. So anyway, I made this little collage of some of the toys that I had from being a kid. And being an introvert kid, I feel like meant that I spent a lot more time with my toys, because I was always indoors. I was the indoorsy kid, as a lot of us probably were, because most of us are introverts. So you probably played with your toys more than, going outside and playing. This was all about the color. I can tell it was all about like that pink and green combination. And then here's my girls. The collection was this was me after I painted that for the mini me adventure, and I took a picture of them as a group. This is one of my favorite layouts, even though it's kind of eclectic and interesting. Week 19, and then oh, look at her. This was such a fun one to do, especially because, she had the crazy jewelry that she wore. But I used a lot of my enamel dots and sequins and my wood beads, and those are actually like textured. It's kind of hard to see because they're in the pocket. So I actually tried to give her texture, because she had such crazy, interesting jewelry. So I actually tried to add to it and make it more lively. It was really fun. I really enjoyed doing this so much. Um, I just couldn't keep up with trying to do it as often as, like the challenge was like a once a week kind of thing. And then the pressure of trying to keep up with it was too difficult. So I did this says October 2024. So obviously I remember doing this too. I love the colors. This is not a color palette I normally do, but It does say 2024, although. And so I set up my prompts. Here was my like little book that I had to like keep it myself organized, and like I would sketch out how I was going to do some things. Like I would plan out what prompts I was going to do and how I was going to do them. And in some cases, I even like sketched out how how I was going to do it because I was putting so much thought into it, how it was going to work. I don't know if this is normal, but that's, and I don't know if that was a good thing or it just, after a while it just felt like a lot. Do you find yourself thinking of it in terms of like, oh, that's just fun to do stuff in pockets, or do you like the idea of someone giving you a prompt that you have to do? What are your thoughts on it? Cuz um I want to encourage people to do pocket art. It's kind of like using up your pocket pages and doing these little mini works without feeling like it has to mean anything. It doesn't have to mean anything. It doesn't have to be documenting your life. It's just it could be taking someone else's picture. Some of the pictures I have, I think some of the stuff I did was really neat. I love some of the ideas that I came up with on the fly. And I just loved how these two windows, and I probably photoshopped them, or at least that one, I'm thinking, I don't know. Or maybe they actually have a blue window shade and some yellow blinds. But I put honeys in the window. And I can tell that I digitally did it. So I stuck the honeys in there using my computer and then printed the card out. And then I added this. So I love that so much. So some of my cards are kind of hybrid. I really loved sticking honeys in the photos. Like in this case, um, I put a honey standing in front of the window of the oyster bar, and then I put sparkly stars on it. Um, so yeah, when I look at this again, it re-inspires me. It makes me go, "Oh man, I really love doing this." It's kind of like you can take someone else's pictures and insert things into them, or if you are adept at all digitally, you could do it that way, or you could add things to existing photos and just embellish them. Like here was a picture of Lucy, and I just added stars because obviously I was building a bigger um, spread. But in any event, there was just some things that I had did that I really, really, really thought was a lot of fun. And I just kind of think, I don't know if I really want the prompts dictating that to me. Um, so Shauna says sometimes the prompts are helpful. Robin says, I like a prompt to spark my creativity. Cece says the prompts are great for jumping off. Uh, thanks, Shelly K. And Miss Penny, can you check all of your folders too? So the the other thing I have here. Okay, so my Camp Wannacraft junk journal. Okay, just to have. So here's part of the journal. So it was all of this, and it was this, the pages in here, and then it's a whole other section that's not with me. So it was this, and then it was a whole other thing. So I took part of the pages out and stuck them in this album. So I wish these albums gave you more space, like more room. The discs are the rings are so little. I mean, I know they give you a lot of wiggle room here, like in the space that you have. So if you're making fluffy pages, you have room, but the rings, they're just so teeny. At least they are for me. So I have then we have These were, let's see, these are just I'm not sure at like what point these came from that particular junk journal. So I had so much fun making up like little stories. When I think what happened with Camp Wanacraft was it became this epic way to carry on that story of like being at camp and then moving on to the next fun activity, which was the next collection, and then the next collection. So it kept going and going and going. And so I was just finding a way to keep telling a story and just making up funny things, which I personally love. I love when crafters have a sense of humor and make funny, snarky or funny things with like words. And I wish I could be even more clever. So like this, to me, this is so funny, a fun run. Because you know how they use that word fun run, which I don't know who came up with that because running is never fun. But okay. But she does look like she is having fun. So I actually applied it in an actual real applicable. It's actually truthful. It's actually truthful in this case. Um, way. And then this is another Avon or what? I don't think it was Avon, but some one of those lip products. So I think this was sort of the beginning of my pocket fever and learning how to use the honeys and like using things like I really, really like simplicity a lot of times. It's really fun to do that. So there was like listing also was incorporated into this one. And then here's that 9 square. Is it 9? No, 12. That 12 square. I said 9 earlier. I can't count. It is not that. Look at that cute little cow. So I try to practice like my eye, like color and pattern, and try and bring like those together. So I did it with this side and then this side. So sometimes it's an exercise in practice. You know, if you really want to test your eye for like a color palette and like bringing those colors together to collect them into like a page protector. And you can do that with like some of these are like magazine pictures, your stash, your papers, and just bringing that stuff into it can be so fun. Like that is a very peaceful activity. You could be doing it while you're sitting here with me. Um, okay, do you want to send it then?
Sure.
Okay. Mark is Mark is sending out the newsletter again. And then okay, so get your glow on. And then find joy in the ordinary with a picture of light bulbs. So sometimes it doesn't even make sense and it has like just pictures of someone's feet. I just end that with a word that has there's like no purpose or reason. I like doing stuff like that. So there's it's kind of like a no rules. I think this is the back side of those pictures. I just never finished them. So it's like a no rules thing I do that I just like to grab some random word strip, like a random word, and just stick it with a random picture. Whoop. So here's some pictures I pulled from magazines, and they're cut. You'll notice I cut them with my photo crops, and you'll see how I cut them in different ways, so that like they're cut like even their faces are like face or hand are chopped in certain ways. I love pictures like this where it's just their little legs, feet. So it's like, so I don't like pictures that are like on the nose where the subject is right in the center. I like them when they're like off center and weirdly cropped. And then you have this whole space. You could use a white pen and write on it. You could use strips of paper and write on it. And you don't have to you can even some artists, some scrap paper people, one thing a lot of times, what I should say, it's really what a lot of collage people do. Let me show you something I noticed that some collagers do. I don't know if I love this. This is very, I'll tell you why after I do it. It's kind of, I'll do it to her. So some collage artists love doing this. They'll take a pen or some black paper and they'll kind of do that to the subject. And they'll kind of block it out and then write on it or put some, some kind of note. And so that is an option for using it. I'm guessing there's a couple of reasons. It does kind of depersonalize it. It makes it feel, now you feel a little bit more removed, like it's almost like she's not a real person anymore. She's not looking directly at you. And it's more now like, I don't know, she almost feels like a little bit more of a background and not really like this, like the star of the show here. And it's kind of an interesting way of creating a little bit more of an anonymity. I don't know all the reasons why they do it, but they do it a lot. I've seen that in so many different types of artwork. It just and people will even cut out like a square where their eyes are, so there's like no eyes at all. And just, I don't know, just a thought. If you just were interested in wanting to try different things and you felt you feel it's kind of weird to have like a picture of somebody in your album that you don't know and like, why is it there? And so it's a way of having like a feminine figure there staring at you. Right? It could have a lot of different meanings. Just yeah, it can look oddly like a ransom note, and there is something a little odd, maybe even a little. To me, it gives a little bit of it's like a little discomforting. There's our eyes. That expression about the eyes are the window to the soul. When you do that, but I do artists do it, and I kind of get why, but it is a little strange. All right. So anyway, and then here's one that I really like, that cropped. So like putting her into a pocket or into in a wall art, but with other pieces, like you could tell a story because she's making this really cute little, well, I guess that word is subjective, but she's making a face. So you could tell a whole story with other images around it. You know what I'm saying? You could use her telling a story because she's looking down at other images around her. So these could be used in different ways to help tell your little gallery story. Right, Penny? She says, I love the odd things. Me too. And I think it's so fun when artists do quirky things. And that's why I like having like these little oddly cut, when I see people use pieces like this, I just love that. I don't know why. What you would be expecting. So the other part of my little thing, so in that particular camp, I focused a lot on the dividers. I made a lot of dividers. That was what my workshops were focused on. And we will be getting that my workshops and my part of that are all going to get uploaded again onto our new platform as soon as we get a chance. But I absolutely am so smitten with some of the things that I did there. And I can sometimes forget, just as well as you can forget, about some of the things you've done that you might really, really love, some of the things you've done. And if it's more convenient to you, if you have like bins or boxes of your stuff, if it's not like displayed on a shelf, like you don't have it like organized and easy to access, like mine's not really easy to access. I usually have it binned up and then buried under my bed. It would probably behoove me at some point to photograph these pages and have them like nicely photographed, nicely edited, and then uploaded onto my website. So I can remind myself, look at the cool stuff you have done. This was one of my workshops, was showing you how to make this little window pane divider. Isn't that a fun divider? And I never even until I had to do that, until I did that little workshop, I didn't know how to do that. I just made that up. I'm amazing under pressure. Here's another idea that I came up with. It's a piece of acetate that went through the printer of a honey. If you put it on a backing, which I did, now you can really see her. So it's like a two. I don't. I think this is loose, so it's like one that you put together. So this was another workshop, a little example divider I did in a workshop. So I really loved this. And until I did that little workshop and had to have a reason, like had to come up with ideas to show you, I don't know that I would have done it. So here's all my fun the pages that, let me just move these out of the way here. This is all the directions, all the stuff. The divider that I made, and then I scanned it, I turned it into a photo, and then I cut it up into pieces, and I put it into that pocket that I just showed you. So just to reiterate, these little square pockets, which can sometimes feel like they're a lot of work to fill, and they are. There's a lot. But one easy way of doing them is to take a single photo and to chop it down into pieces like this, and then reassemble it back in there. I think it's so cool. It's unfortunate that my head got lopped off in that way, but I can live with that. So anyway, that was this happened during camp, was us going out. These are my art journaling pages, which I made some really fun little collages on. The cute little girl drinking soda. See, this is when I started getting pocket fever and doing the fun little things in here. And I started to really, really like the little pockets. I had never ever done these before. And I started getting very smitten. Do you guys remember Milo? My little make-believe camp dog. Do you guys remember? Did anyone else have a make-believe camp dog? I had another dog the following camp too. I know he's in like a picture of him. So we had a little camp junk journal kit too, which made that fun to like fill. Like this was from that kit, this and this, which made it a lot easier to fill this up. Survival Skills with Washi workshop hosted by the Thunderhead Boys Camp. So in this case, I just had to fill in some of the little squares. So here's the swim lessons. There's a little picture of me. And then today I got my junior lifeguard certification. Now I can take on the world. What a great day. Okay. Angela says, I think mine was Griffin. So you definitely had your own little camp doggy. Cece, I missed your comment when you were saying it. I'm assuming that you mean the me and the honeys. And yes, that was me going out. It was my birthday that night, and we went out to dinner. Okay, can I show this to you? Do you guys remember this was movie night, and this is the long trailer, and Mark staged all of this so that the camera would be pointed at it, so that on your screen you would see all of these little goodies. So he took all that time to stage all of that so it would look like movie night to you. He used to go through a lot of trouble for movie night, and then eventually he got to the point where he's like, I think he figured out a different way of doing it, so it didn't need to have the whole rigmarole. Look at that. This is before my diabetes diagnosis. But I did have diabetes at the time, and I didn't know it. So this is probably sending my blood sugar soaring, and explains why I had constant migraines and had no idea why. Look. Do you guys remember all of our sheet mask fun? I have not seen this particular headband, but you see I have a collection. I need to find this little unicorn headband. So I kept my little dragon face mask, dated it. I didn't remember I had a little unicorn one. I'll have to find that. The pocket stuff I'd ever done. So, so this is what happened. Camp ended, so here's done. Okay. Then we flip it over and then it becomes You Are Here. This was the following month, and but camp is still kind of like, I think it extended into, what did I call it? The Junk Journal Jamboree. So a new collection launched and it was You Are Here. So I just continued on working and using the collection. So I started telling a different story, and that became a road trip. Everybody, we're taking a road trip. And this is where it started getting really super fun, is collecting all these fun little trailer pictures and telling a story about our little road trip we were taking together as a community. There's us. And it became a lot of fun. Some of us were kind of hippies, but some of us were kind of glorious hippies. Oh, that's me and Mark's actual lunch. We actually went out to Chipotle. I have not eaten there in years. So this was really fun. This was another divider using up product. And then the story continued. Oh my, can you imagine how many calories are in this drink? And I think that's an alcoholic drink too, if I am not mistaken, if I remember correctly. So then it became like we went down towards the beach. We were getting ice cream. We were going 70s style. See there, do you guys recognize her? She's from my Harmony handbook. She's also on the in our ads. Somebody drew her for us, an outline version of her. An illustrator did it for us. And then one of the hotels we stayed at, motels. So yeah, this became like a really super fun. This was like probably like the most fun part of it was um continuing this whole thing on into like this like epic storytelling and printing them out and like continuing on this epic story, staying at Palm Springs, staying at all the fun little places, because the next collection that came out was Escape to Paradise. So that became Escape to Paradise, and then we had the end. And then by then, I think it was time to go back to school. it was time for fall. And then this was did I already go through this? Yeah, this was all the stuff from chapel. I think this is all the chapel stuff that I separated all this stuff together. This is all like junk journal-y stuff. So this was my favorite cards that ever came out of that collection was these. It's one of the hunkety hunks. And there he is. So it's really fun looking at stuff. And if you have stuff that you can pull out from time to time, I really encourage it. Okay, I need to share this. She is like a loose, like a bookmark. Isn't that fun? And this is one of the Dress the Honeys that I love doing. So her top is like, it's like an office paper, and her skirt is a map. And then she has like a punch. It's like a little tag that she's actually wearing as a top. It's like a business tag. And then I turned it into a necklace. That's what makes the Dress the Honey so fun. So, oh, and there is a Dress the Honeys in the activity pages add-on. So that was in the extras. All that good stuff. So that's a lot of stuff. So this is Camp Joyful. This is 2022. These are littler, much easier, much smaller little footprint. So this is when the mini me story, the mini me adventure. This is probably one of my favorite photos I've ever taken. I was laying on my stomach and I had them all laid, like all set up, like they're having a dance off. And I got that shot. And I just love the angle. I love everything about this. I love like this look of determination on her before she starts her break dance moves. It's the best. And then they're all in their little cabin. So, what I love so much about the mini me adventure is just the fun of taking the photos of the girls, like the staging of it. Here's another example of like an oddly cropped photo. There was Team Sharon and Team Susan. And then here's the cute little girls. Carrie, she did these for us. So we watched Parent Trap again that night for this camp. And I know some of you guys have like the super skills, like you know how to do like really cool stuff with like flip out stuff and folded stuff and origami stuff. I've seen some really amazing things. I don't know how to do any of that. I am like the most basic Betty here. I know how to punch an envelope. That's where my skills lie, is just the basics. I am so basic. But I am okay with that. I have not felt the need to do anything grander than that at this stage. But yet I am still happy with what I have managed to achieve, even with all of my basicness. I love this. I happened to find these girls and they had the same color palette. I love the shot of like looking over her shoulder at her and her students in sewing class. And then this is them exploring or talking her into going into the cave. So this was a lot of fun. Like learning how to work with like trying to share my love of working with like little subjects and sharing this really fun activity I had done. Let's see, this was 2022. Something I had done about 10, 12 years before, that I had started doing because I was living the single life and I didn't have anyone to take pictures of me. So so I learned to take pictures of a little thing, of a little subject to represent me. And it just became something I dearly loved so much. So it was really fun to introduce this particular activity, this little workshop, and another workshop that needs to get uploaded. So I think thank you, Cece. I love Basic Betty too. So it has been that will be a lot of fun getting that up and into a proper workshop platform that will never be taken away, never be removed again. We have a the right place to upload it to. So, and then let me show you, this is my last, well, I have another one, but this is the Summer Smash Book. So this is another camp reset. This is 2020. This is the 10-week we are in quarantine camp. So I made it extra long to keep everyone happy and occupied. So here's one of my inspiration boards. So this is what I'm talking about. I love making these. To me, this is more fun. It's like making a list, but visual. So I think this is like, instead of calling, it's not always to me a vision board. Sometimes it's like an inspiration board and it's like a visual list is a better way of putting it. So these are like different little Bible study spreads. And then I think this is kind of how this is the honey that looks like precious and loved. What am I in the right year for what I think I am in? 2022, right? Okay, this is the one with Betsy. It looks like Betsy to me. So this is when I started really liking these cropped, weird pictures. I grabbed a catalog and started doing that. So so this was a fun camp. I absolutely love these little square cards. Have never gotten tired of making these little cards, these little 3-inch cards. So I have a couple 3-inch card collections that I haven't released yet that I've been working on. They're like digital print cards. So you just need to print them and you can do whatever you want with them. Let's see. Is there anything else good in here? Yes, I think grids are one of these really great tools it, of practicing your eye. It's practicing building for pattern, color, and like arrangement. I think when you build like whether it be a grid or whether it be like using the hexagons or the rhombus type diamonds, I feel like these are such a good skill builder in helping you develop a good eye. I will always pick that as a activity, that like I think is a good thing to do in a workshop because it's such a good skill. So like this is another thing that I love. It is so weird and random. It's just this weirdly cut cropped 6x4 out of an ad, an old vintage ad. And it was all about the color. It was about the interesting text or font. I don't know what that is, I don't know if did they have fonts back then? What would they have called them? And then they just a little pop of color. I just loved how this looked together so much. It's all about Colgate. It's a Colgate ad, but cropped in a weird way. It's just a weirdly cropped image, but I just really, really, really loved it. So this is what you can be doing with art journal pages is use them for practice, is just practicing weird ways of bringing paper together, weird paper, cropped paper. So it is a fun way to practice. Hello, Miss Ellen. Okay, I need to get a sip of water. So I know quite a few of you really loved the mini me's. That was a really fun adventure, and I know quite a few of you did it with your kids, which was really fun to see all the little exciting projects that came out of that. Seeing you guys do stuff together. So, so I wanted to talk about the next thing I want to talk about. It is the Late Night Chatty Club tonight. So I was talking about the mini art. So if you like doing pocket art, you can think of it as like sometimes you put it in the pocket, but sometimes you can frame it. Some of the pocket configurations would work in frames that are available. I saw frames. Now I used Amazon as my test, but I haven't gotten to the store yet. So I'm going to test Hobby Lobby and Home Goods to see what kind of frames they have. But Amazon is frames that they have in the sizes that they have. So they had these little 5x5 frames with like little baby, like almost like a little tiny mat inside of it. And I think there was 4 frames in a pack, and they had them in different styles. So I was trying to, again, I have to pick things that are very lightweight, whereas you live in a normal house. So a normal house or apartment, so you are not constricted by the same things I am, so you don't have to worry. But this had a nice light, like a more of a plexiglass, and it's nice and light. This is like perfection for hanging on um an RV wall. So I thought this would be really fun. I guess you can see that there's like a mat right here. So this would be fun to get some of the, I think this is a 4x4. I think that's a 4" by 4" art. So some of the cards I've been working on or designs are totally 4 inches. So imagine you making some cute little 4x4 prints with some like really encouraging messages to yourself. You could make your own little fun, encouraging art prints and you could hang them in your little craft space or wherever you spend time, your little cozy space. One of the things I wanted to do was, spend time this year um, doing not this year. I'm so sorry. Walk that back. Doing it within my little retreat that I want to do, like a real quick turnaround, like maybe 1 to 2 days, is doing that kind of thing. Like let's get everything freshed up for the year and make inspiring art, make stuff that's like going to be exciting. I love inspiring art, like things. Another cool idea is I got this from Amazon.com, one of those little clipboards. It's a little mini one. And I think I'm going to say it looks like a 5x7. And it has a little slidey, it has one of those little rings on it, I guess, that goes up and down so you can hang it on the wall. And that way you can swap out the art in it all the time. You could even decoupage this if you don't like that kind of brown craft look to it. You could decoupage this and then you could swap out the little wall art in it and have that hanging somewhere. You could get like a little row of them. You could make a little gallery of them, like get like 9 of them. It's $1.50 for one of them. So that was another option. I actually got larger ones. I wanted to put them on that wall back there. So I wanted to try different things on that wall. And I also have that this tiny wall right here. I wanted to try putting different things on that wall. So I've been experimenting. I wanted to see like putting some of my art, my stuff that I've made around me. And I thought, you know what? Maybe you should too. Maybe you should put some of your art and some of your thing goes. Right, Angela? It's the Late Night Enablers Club. So those are the kinds of things that I thought would be, I don't know, kind of fun to think about doing I don't know, what's the word? Experimenting with and putting my stuff up. I always buy other people's art. So I thought, which I'm not saying I wouldn't continue doing, but I do generally buy other people's art. So I think it would be fun to kind of have more of my stuff. And when I say that, I mean like highly crafted, like stuff I put a lot of time into, not something quick. Like this girl right here, I just noticed her. She's in this little frame. She was like a quick thing, not something I spent a long time working on. Some of the cards that I've worked on or made, I would love to see them turned into like a piece of art that I had on my wall. Oh my goodness. Some things I've done, like, I think she's so cute. I think she'd be super fun. This would be a fun little collagey thing. Also, I thought of this too. I really love these little hollow type frames. You see these all the time. Like I got mine at Home Goods or TJ Maxx, and you see this type of frame all the time at stores like that, or the thrift store. These kind of frames are really great for decoupaging, and you could start all over and put something else on here. To me, this is kind of a cliche type of expression. I don't find it to be super inspiring, really, for me. And I think the reason why I bought it was to do exactly why what I'm telling you to do. So you could just completely Mod Podge this and do a total revamp. You could use whatever inspires you. You could do a completely different message on this. So if you like going to thrift stores, if that's one of your things you like, or you're a frequent Home Goods, TJ Maxx, Marshall's kind of girl, this might be the type of frame you could look for and give it a little DIY. Now, if I get my act together and I get caught up on all my homework, finally get to have recess and play, I might try to do this now on camera, which will be a little nervous because I don't necessarily do crafts the right way a lot of the time. Because, as I've said many times, like, why measure twice when you can go to the store 3 times? That's what was modeled for me, was watching my dad go to the handyman store 4 times. I don't think it's because he wasn't measuring. I don't know. I wish I could ask him. In retrospect, I wish I could ask him now. Why? Um, yes, CC, exactly. Shadow boxes. That was another thing. They're in my Amazon cart. I have not pulled the trigger, but you can get like small shadow boxes. I have some boxes that are like, I want to say they're like 4x6, 5x7. They're like in that size. So that's a fairly small frame, but they're shadow boxes. So you could put a 3-dimensional thing in there, like some of your favorite mini me's you could frame, or your kids. If your kids made mini me's and they're not really paying attention to them anymore, you could, or eventually you could frame them. But stuff like that, stuff that's like meaningful to you, and you could hang them. So that's what I want to start, like, encouraging you to do stuff like that, because we're doing the Late Night Crafty Club. We're getting more invested in our creative life. So this kicking off 2025, when I was not feeling I was not in the headspace to jump right into my crafting because I couldn't even remember where anything was. Um, I wanted to talk about, getting inspired. Here were some ideas of re-inspiring yourself. Um, thinking of giving you some ideas about getting yourself, maybe making yourself a little mini wall gallery. These and frames are always inexpensive at thrift stores. Thrift stores and some spray paint if you need to. And you could make yourself a lovely little gallery in a little corner wherever you happen to keep your craft space. And I definitely think, like, when you think about where you are in your home or your apartment, if you're somebody who loves to craft and you have supplies, consider, if you don't have a designated place for crafting, yourself up for success. Do you have your tools, your supplies? Are they set up in such a way that they are accessible, that they are curated? Have you selected things? Have you curated your supplies in such a way that they are stuff that you enjoy using? Are you digging through stuff that you don't necessarily love, but you feel bad about getting rid of, but it's always the stuff that you pass over? If you find yourself doing that so much, it's probably best to just end your relationship with those things. Just get past that, I feel bad I spent money on this stuff, and move on. Move on. Pull through your stuff and freshen it. January, the theme of January in the Clubhouse and here at the Reset Girl is fresh beginnings. Fresh beginnings. So sometimes we bring some of that. I don't know if it's about bringing. We cultivate some guilt along with our craft hobby, because a lot of times we end up buying a lot of stuff for that particular hobby. And because we're so creative in our, and we get very excited when we see something we want to try or do. Some of us are not as good about saying no. You already have these things. You've already committed to, this craft or that hobby, and we're not as good about telling ourselves no. We like the idea of, like, but I'm going to do this, and I call it, as some people do, it's like wanting to live your fantasy self. It's like this fantasy self version of you who's going to be this amazing artist or collager, or like somebody who's like what is that word? An illustrator, someone who's a great a seamstress, a sewer, someone who does a lot of sewing. And you end up buying all of these things because you're going to be so good at it. And in the meantime, then something else catches your eye and then you need to buy stuff for that. Some of us buy a lot of stuff for that thing we're going to do, but then we never get around to actually doing the thing that we said we were going to do. And over time, you end up with a lot more stuff and a lot less execution. So there's a lot of us in that camp. And and then it's really hard to get rid of the stuff that you did that with because we all know it. We all know that we all made a mistake doing that. It's hard to say no because you can always justify, but it's for my peace of mind. It's to be crafty. It's to do something good. Don't I deserve this? And absolutely, all of these things are totally for our good. Crafting has so many great benefits. Being creative, there's all kinds of benefits for it. And science would prove that. All kinds of people would say that's why I call it self-care. It's because it has mental and spiritual benefits. You can combine doing some of these things, some of the crafting elements. People combine it with their spirituality. They combine it with their mental health. You can do certain things that give you just as much relief. It's for your level of stress. It relaxes you. There's all of these wonderful benefits. It releases endorphins and it gives you joy. There's so much joy that you get in the moment when you actually execute on something or you finish something. It's wonderful. And you see, look what I made. It's like being a little 5-year-old again. Look what I did. But boy, is there a lot of stuff that happens in between that and the look what I did. There's so many reasons we have for not getting there. So, and all of that sometimes ends up with like a lot of stuff that we've accumulated in between. So, I could say the same thing about my decisions, even though I have such a small space. I have, gone through those cycles too, where I have to look at you were going to do all these things and then you didn't do them. So it's time to out with it. And so I have to do the same thing too. And it's so nice to work with stuff that I genuinely love. I've been using the same stuff for years, some of the same papers, some of the same tools. I have found that I don't find myself even really exploring much of the craft world. I don't watch a lot of crafters. I don't watch any crafters. I find that when I do start watching something, a particular hobby, it is so stimulating into like, oh, if only I had that or this, I'd be able to do that. And that's where the fantasy self starts kicking in. So I have a whole cabinet full of like all kinds of like markers and inks and all the stuff that I could ever want to do, like coloring books and sketching and that kind of thing. So I'm not looking at anything else. That's the other alternative hobby that I'm committed to other than what I do here, the paper crafting. So that much I know will keep me in check from like running off to do anything else. Is no more looking. Don't watch knitters. Don't watch crocheters. Don't watch anybody do any kind of fabric arts. None of that. Just stay in your lane. So I'm going to just focus on paper arts. I love paper. And just sticking with what I know and what I am good, like what I'm good with. Just stay right here. And like get good at this, learn this, and then maybe like throw in a little bottle of like gesso. I always stumble with that word. Gesso. Throw in a bottle of gesso. Throw a layer on there. Maybe an ink spot here and there. And before you know it, you'll be doing mixed media. Like just continue building upon those skills. Just stay right here. And that might be something you need to be a little tough love with yourself. If you find yourself always being that like, but I can do this and I can do that. And I say that with so much love because it's so easy. It's so easy to do that, isn't it? And I have a husband who has carried many, many, many of my bins full of stuff. And I am at the point now where I feel such horrible guilt every time I make him pick up another bin and move it to another storage shuffle through and lift lids off and like, what do you need in here? Just, it's terrible. It's terrible. So what I totally think is to spend, if you have any time in January, is to spend a little time I'm not even going to ask you to declutter. I'm going to ask you to curate. I want you to do like what Marie Kondo would say is she had a process of like picking the things that spark joy. So I'm not asking you to pull all your stuff out of your craft supplies. I just want you to like, we're going to be a gentle approach. Okay. I'm not asking you to devastate your craft space or anything. I want you to just kind of like browse through your things and kind of curate as if you were making a go bag. Okay. We're going to go on a trip. I'm inviting you on a trip and it's going to be a 3-hour tour. So therefore you have to pack a year's worth of clothes. Because if TV has taught me anything, what a 3-hour tour requires. So you're going to need the most important craft supplies to do your most important craft work. And this work has got to be the stuff that's going to sustain you on this deserted island that we're going to get stuck on. So what is that craft? What is that, whether it's paper? I'm going to stick in the world of paper crafting for this conversation. But what are those papers? What are those supplies? What are those things that are going to just bring you, contentment, pleasure, and just help you just build some skills with those things? Help you practice some of the ability, like where you feel you might lack in some areas. Where can you just stay in that and stay in your goodies and pick out? Do you have a good pair of scissors? If you don't own the golden scissors, why don't you own golden scissors? First of all, that's the first question I have for you. Why do you not own the golden scissors? Golden scissors, a good pen, a nice pen for like a permanent writing pen, a pen you would write that's more archival that you could write on your photos, like going down, making a list of your basics, your staples, a good hole punch, stuff that you would need. I mean, I think that when it comes to like in the crafters, like a toolkit, a paper crafter toolkit, there's just some basic stuff like a good glue stick, good hole punch. I have like my little tiny attacher, my label maker. That might not be interesting to you, but what is interesting, it's my ride or die. A lot of women love their paper cutter, their slicer, their paper slicer. There you go, CC's 3 pair of the golden scissors, but you can't find one of them. So those are things that you might spend some time in January. That could be one of your creative goals. For those of you who have I'm going to help you here. For those of you who have the Cozy Craftivity Journal, there is where are we at? On your January Gentle Goals dashboard, you have my creative goals intentions this month. Okay. So right here is curating your favorites, curating yourself a kit, curating yourself this special, like, what would you call it when you take stuff out of its natural habitat and it almost like quarantining like a collection of paper. This is what designers do. Okay. You're a designer. You're a paper designer. Okay. And then you're going on this trip with me, in which case we're going to get shipwrecked. You don't know that part yet, but you need to curate some fabulous paper, some good adhesive, ways to attach things. And what are those things? What are your favorite little goodies? I'm using me as an example only because I've become a very steady Eddie with the stuff that I use. So I'm just helping you think through. I don't know all the craft stuff out there because I've learned that some of the craft stuff out there is sort of like it's trendy and it doesn't stand the test of time. I'll give you an example, like die cuts. I love the idea of die cuts, and I think die cuts can be so cute. Like I like looking at the die cut. It's so adorable. the design is so cute, but I almost never want to like design with a die cut. Somehow it starts to, I don't know, like I have a hard time putting die cuts into my designs. I think they're so cute on their own, or just like being a single element all on its own. But I do my aesthetic once I start working with them. I find like they're too cutesy, but they're cute. They're cute. Some of them are, but they're expensive. They're very, very expensive. And unless you are the kind of crafter where you like using all of those, like the whole collection and all that good stuff, it's kind of weird to have all these like oddly assorted die cuts. And I've ended up in that spot quite often, because I don't enjoy using whole collections of things. I don't find myself doing that. Washi, how much washi does a woman need? How much do you really need? So like curate a few rolls of washi if you find I don't really reach for washi very much, if you may have noticed. That's just not one of the things that I grab. Um, Enamel dots all day long. I love those things. I never knew I loved enamel dots, but I love enamel dots. Maybe you do too, or maybe you love something else. You just don't know it yet. So it's a matter of like, what do you love? What is one little crafty thing that you start loving, and start kind of setting those things aside and start really evaluating, because that's the thing that you might want to consider worth spending money on. If you're going to buy a new craft thing, that should be the thing, not the thing that you buy because it's like on sale. Oh, I should get that because it's on sale. It's 50% off. So I should totally get that. That's not a good reason to get something. So I I think making yourself a list, and I'm using my examples. I'm not trying to dictate to you what yours are, because you certainly have your own aesthetic or things you like, but make yourself a list if you really want to like pare it down. I did that too. I made a list for myself and really thought about, what do I find myself grabbing and really like putting in a kit? Because I was doing that to go like do like a little retreat or go teach, I found myself making these little kits a lot. And I noticed that I was always consistently putting the same thing in that kit. So that's the quick way I learned very fast about some of the things, like the tools that I found myself really um, that were important to me. But then over time, I learned like the enamel dots were like, ooh, I really like these. These are so fun. So now like I have a whole little bin of them. And I love the tabs, like these little fun tabs. Well, having punches are great. Punches are such a great investment. Not every single type of punch, but a few key shapes, basic shapes, can be extremely versatile, can give you so many like cool, fun ways to do things that's if that's a design that you like, if that's something that you could see yourself. I'm saying think it through, like what kinds of tools give you a lot of like range. I can, let me see here. As hole punches go, this guy right here, this type of hole punch is a great hole punch to have as a basic tool, because you can cut through cardboard, you can cut through chipboard, you can cut through really thick paper, like a little stack of paper, especially 32-pound paper, which tends to be really bulky. It is a very heavy duty punch. So if you were making junk journals, or like any kind of like pocket pages, anything that was more of like a crafty material, this is the type of like punch that you would want. And it's really easy to make holes and like get them all nice and even and everything. That's not hard to do. You can make yourself a template. But this is a great type of hole punch to have in your toolkit. This gives you versatility. You can do all kinds of things when you have a punch like this. When you're married to like those type of like the little 6-ring, and then it's like it's not heavy duty, but that's the type of punch where it can only do very well one thing. This is like a heavy duty, I can do all kinds of things. So those are that's a type of thought process that I'm inviting you to consider this month, to really like curate yourself like a really good toolkit, because I want you to think of yourself as more than just a crafter. I want you to think of yourself as a designer. Going into this year, one way to rally and really find yourself creating more, and you can incorporate, if you're wanting your faith to flourish, your spirituality, your physical health, there's so many other areas of your life. You're like, well, I don't want to neglect that. There are ways to incorporate those things too. There's certain aspects of other parts of ourselves that we can kind of incorporate, so it makes it feel like you're doing more than one thing. One thing I always found with like health, when I was having health goals I was trying to achieve, is I loved making vision boards, and not just like slapping pictures on the page, but also like using that as a springboard to like making really like a lot of art with inspiration quotes on it, putting a lot of detail into it, making like a whole little binder, and little cards. There's so many different ways that you can take even like like physical goals and incorporate your creative talents with that. And the great thing is the more that you are working out your little crafty muscles, the more that you're going to see other ways of employing them. Because don't forget, this is a wonderful gift that we have to be able to use, and not everyone uses their little crafty gifts. So we definitely don't want to, let us not neglect them. Benita says, I definitely buy because it is on sale. I need to define my style and stick to it. And isn't that such a great statement? Because I think that's true for a lot of things if we thought about it. I think that happens to us like when it comes to clothing, and it can happen to us when it comes to like home decor. I think that's probably gotten me so many times in those two areas too, is, well, it's on sale. And sometimes the being on sale is like the most captivating thing about the item, or it's cute and it's on sale, but then it has very limited functionality, or a limited shelf life, or a limited seasonality. And it's like way more effort to store it or deal with it. When I was watching Dawn from The Minimal Mom, I learned so much about the fact that things in our house are really inventory, and they become something like a thing you have to deal with. Every single thing we have becomes something that takes up like precious time, effort, space. It just becomes something that you have to inventory on some level. So it was just very, thank you, Para. It's just very interesting in kind of applying some of those lessons. And if you guys feel like this would be helpful, to kind of like keep up, uh, maybe not here on the Late Night Crafty Club, we could do a little check-in at the end with it. But if you thought it would be helpful, I can make that part of the upcoming live retreat. I just think it would be good to have like a weekend, because that would make it feel more urgent that you want to show up, be present. It'd be like if I was literally hosting it live in person and you would show up, right? You would come, and I would have materials for you, and we would all have a good time together. So it would be the same premise. I would just be online, and I will probably do it like in segments throughout the day. So there's little breaks in between, and we can do it in such a way. There's different ways of doing retreats. So I've been ruminating on them, and I've been thinking about it. So sometimes people will do it like a co-working session. So we could do like a 2-hour co-working session of curating and decluttering, so that's something that we all are doing at the same time. So you are kind of like, I'm agreeing to do this at this time, and I'm going to work on pulling together my stuff, because now I have a set time I've agreed to be part of this adventure. I'm just using that as an example. I'm not saying that would be part of what we were doing. I'm just saying that would be an example of how a co-working session would work. So we're all working together. And sometimes that high level of accountability can really help motivate you to get it done, because you'll think, well, I don't really want to do it on my own, because I know I won't do it later if I'm all by myself. At least that's how I try to treat it. But I think I want to get my stuff together. I want to get new, like fresh stuff around me. And I just want to start thinking like I'm a creator. And I'm starting to kind of grow into that more than I ever have because I'm doing so much creating now for my business. I'm designing all my own graphics. I'm starting to create like everything from the ground up now. So it's starting to like permeate all the different like levels of my thinking. So it's just making me realize like I want to take some of the principles that I'm learning and doing and kind of like turn that into content that would benefit you and you're creating, so that I don't know. I've said this before, but I think there's just something so I know we craft. I also think elevating that sometimes to being a creator and being someone who designs. I think there's something really wonderful about that and really special about that idea. And I think that sometimes when I'm creating something, that can just feel more elevated and make you feel, I don't know, even make it feel more special than maybe what you were like thinking about it in the first place. And it can make it feel like more like a real talent. And talents are things that we want to cultivate and shine and do something with, you know? There's so many people that could be benefited by your talent. And you could make you could turn your talent into a side hustle I hate that word hustle. A little, you know what I mean though when I say that. You could sell some of your stuff that you make. You could start working on it and find that you enjoy it enough that you could make something and sell it. There's that. You could use it to bless other people. You could turn your little artworks into gifts. There's so many things you could be doing besides just doing stuff that sits on a shelf. So, but we'll never know unless we try. So we're on a creative adventure. We're on a creative journey in 2025. That is what the whole Reset community at large is doing, and we're each piece of the the Reset world is doing something on different levels. So if you choose to join the Clubhouse, and you can dip your toes into the Clubhouse, you can just like see what it's like. We have a $5 level. The $5 level, you get to participate in the monthly creative challenges. I have a photo challenge. Photo challenges are actually how I got started on Instagram. It's how my account started growing. It was what made me actually want to post in the first place. It was so fun. But we have a fun photo challenge, and we have a fun creative challenge. So everybody does that together, and then you have access to almost all the spaces but the explorer space. And for $5, that's it. It's a lovely community. It's pretty much the same community I've had for the last 10 years. And then the explorer level is our more robust level, and that includes the cozy craftivity journal, a private live stream with me, and then there's a bit more robust content in the lounge area. So I will be not only putting extra material in there, but then we will have a more focused conversation in our tea party, and also possibly doing challenges from time to time, because that's just where I feel like there could be more accountability and like getting a buddy maybe to like, I want help or support with my particular challenges or goals that I'm trying to achieve. So that's that particular level of the Clubhouse. But you can cancel at any time. You are not married. There's no contract you're signing with me. And if you choose, like, you're not finding that you get value out of those particular Clubhouse, either of those levels, you can always just get the cozy craftivity journal for your solo adventure. That is an option. I wanted to make sure that was an option too. So that's in the store, and you can just be a solo adventurer. So the journal has that theme running through it too. So, and then now here on the Late Night Crafty Club, so you guys are also getting a piece of the Fresh Beginnings, which is January's theme. So you're getting a piece of that story, and trying to encourage you to think about being a creator and kind of taking on that new challenge, and hopefully that you would feel so inspired. And that could become at least once a month you attend the Late Night Crafty Club. And not because I'm an amazing entertainer, but because it becomes your dedicated time to crafting. And you just kind of use my company to craft along with. You could do that in the me as your replay club companion. And if not me, another lovely crafter on YouTube could be your crafting companion. But that could be one of your commitments you make to yourself. I'm going to pick a project and I'm going to have it finished. I'm going to finish that project. And maybe every single month you pick a project that you're actually going to start and finish. And yes, Sherry Davis. Sherry says, Corey, are you still going to sell some of your physical stuff that you have in storage? Yes. The answer is yes. I'm very excited. I rescued a bunch of stuff before it went back into another storage. We have so many storages. Oh my gosh, my life is like spread out among so many storages. But yes, we kept some of it here on the property with us. So I've asked Mark, I have like some of the Reset Your Goals kits, the very last kits, I believe, in existence. Some of the Faithful Girl stuff, some of the really pretty, the meaningful tabs, like that whole little tab set, and the Adored tabs. So like those we have, the Traveler Notebook kits that I never released, but I've had for years in my storage. So yes, over the course of time, as I finally get down to my Tacoma storage and start bringing stuff up, we're gonna start exploring ways to seeing is personally, I would love to be able to sell off my scrapbook paper. I hate the thought of donating it or throwing it away. I have some paper in there that would just break my heart. It'd break my crafty heart to throw it away. Because it's irreplaceable. It's not made anymore. Some of it's like 10 years old, and it's it's crate paper. My goodness. It's crate paper, vintage crate paper. So anyway, but yes, that's an excellent question. And yes, so I have a couple kind of some more valuable things. I have a collector's Kate Spade zip around planner that I bought years ago. I have that. So there's a few things I'm going to put on eBay. There's some things I thought about personally, crafting, designing, painting. I have these little boxes for my little cards that I thought I would design each one differently and then sell those. So there's all these little fun things that I thought this would be fun, a fun way, to make money because we like to. So those are things that I'll get to do in my free time. So anyway, the retreat thing that I'm talking about, though, I would like to try to do that towards the beginning of February. So I'm saying that in order to hold myself accountable. As soon as I am now done, now I've gotten all of my homework done. I got newsletters out, Late Night Crafty Club done, the Clubhouse is done. I just need to get the February's Clubhouse stuff done now. Just need to make sure I can repeat that whole thing. I'm starting a new routine, right? I have to prove to myself, yes, you can get another one done and get it done on time, because that's what this is about. The planner girl world does not sleep, does it? That's the problem when you make dated material. The first of the month comes sooner than you would like. So Celia says, "Oh, you're in Olympia." And hi, Divine Well Designs. Oh, that's true. I didn't even think about that. Scrapbook paper can be used for envelopes, right? So yeah, if I can just figure out if there's a way to sell some of that paper, because it would be a shame. Seriously, that paper is just, it honestly, I'm not even embarrassed to admit this, but when I was buying stuff from American Crafts, and I had a rep, I was just like, how much do you have in your inventory? How much of that do you have left? And some of the stuff that they had, some of the things, I'd be like, I just want all of it. Just give me everything you have. So there were some things that they had that was coming from crepe paper that was, I'm trying to remember which designer it was that I loved. I feel like I'm so far out of that world now. I can't remember everything, but I loved it so much that it just runs out. And so yeah, there's stuff I have in there that's like I'm the, but it's probably because I thought we were going to be selling listers kits or planner girl kits or all the other things we had. I didn't know that Mark and I were going to decide to go live in an RV, and that ended up being, when I look back, I go, I'm still kind of like trying to process what were all of our thoughts on that. Did we map that course correctly? It is 8 years that we have been in this RV. This month makes 8 years. Is that wild? I have been in an RV with a craft-based business. Now, true, it has been mostly digital, and that is why, because I had to switch to an almost completely digital business because, but we sold a lot of stickers this last year. Last year in 2024, Mark looked at the numbers and we sold a lot of stickers, so physical stickers. So I don't know. I don't know how many people are driving RVs out there that have a sticker store. You know? Right, Shar? Where have the years gone? I'm so glad that you showed up tonight. Is there a way I can reach you? I wanted to ask you about doing a workshop. 8 years in this place, and it's been 10 years this year that I've been doing the Reset Girl. So this is my 10-year anniversary. So it is crazy. Good night, Jenny B. Thanks for joining us. Michelle says, have you thought of an apartment regular house again? We have. We would love to live in a regular, like not in here. Yes, very much yes. Yes, very much yes. We definitely have. I think Mark and I have been over the RV life a long time ago. This is not where we want to be. I think though at a point we trying to be close to my mom until the city my mom lives in said, no, you may not be here. So that kind of made the decision for us. But my in-laws have been so gracious. They've so great big property. And so I think their heart's desire is that, that they make room. My Mark's son and our daughter-in-law, they live on the property as well. So they would love nothing more than to make a big old compound and everybody lives here. So we shall see. So anyway, but having said that, when I was writing all the content for the year ahead, and it's talking about all of this wonderful adventure we're taking, and every month is has a chapter in this grand story that we're going through. It was very interesting because I was trying to imagine each month, and going through it, and we're all talking about like planting a garden and doing all these things here on the property because it's a really big property, and it's got like an orchard and like chickens and like it's like a homestead. So I'm picturing like, wow, I'm actually going to have like cool things to photograph. I'm actually going to want to participate in my own challenge and my own story and actually document and do like memory keep and stuff. So it was actually kind of exciting thinking about the content I'm putting in my cozy journal and some of the things I was, creating for the year. It was just kind of neat to think like, I actually have a cool year to document because I'll get to watch the whole life, the seasons change, like watch all the trees and all the animals and watch life and and harvest and all the seasons of life on the property. So it'll be really cool. And I can take you guys with me because I have all these fun cameras. So we'll see. Well, that's cool, Miss Divine. Well, if you have a Clubhouse question, you can ask it here. I'm in the finish line. I actually do any crafting, and I was more of a chatty Kathy, but I did realize after I was kind of freaking out about how I couldn't find anything and I didn't know where anything was. I realized, this is a good opportunity to talk about, what happens when we feel a bit detached from our crafty side, because it is very obvious that the other world we operate in, the adult world, where you have all your worries, paying your bills and getting yourself to work and your children, grown-ups and the grandchildren, all of the different stages that we're in. And us Gen Xers, we're in a sandwich situation where we're worried about parents and our kids and our grandkids. You have like a whole gamut of things that you're dealing with. So yeah, you can very much feel detached from these things. It can feel almost like that's a bit frivolous. It's a bit indulgent when I have so many bigger and more important things to do. And I totally get that because I do that to myself. Sometimes I do that too. I'll think that way. And I kind of put myself down, especially when someone asks me, well, what do you do for a living? So what do you guys do? That is probably the single question I have in 10 years. I still do not know how to answer that question. Mark and I have an almost Pavlovian response to that question, and it's to look at each other. Like, how do we answer this? In 10 years, we have not come up with a nice elevator, 20-second elevator pitch. What is that elevator answer? It's an elevator pitch, but that's not really the right one. There's no answer. We don't have a polished answer. How? Possible. And I feel silly. I feel silly telling people that I'm doing this. I feel silly. I'm sitting here. I'm a woman in my early 50s. The crown on her head and her jammies on a Friday night. But here we are. But this is life. Okay. So I realize, as silly as it is, this is I already do feel a little awkward and insecure. That it is what it is. I'm going to just speak on behalf of a lot of us. I just think that is kind of how it is for a lot of us. And while we may have to perform at the workplace with a lot of confidence, we exude confidence, or at least we put on our game face. We do adult and we do extra. When we're here, we're going to make believe camp. We're going to it is not self-indulgent. It is just it's just another activity to turn to. You could choose Netflix over me. You could be watching Netflix right now versus me. You could be doing a lot of other things. So as you know, crafting is just another thing to do versus, scrolling, playing a game, or I guess you guys aren't really gamers, but you know what I mean. It's just another activity. You could be readers. You could read a book versus crafting. But the thing with the crafting is you have something to show for it at the end. You have something to show for it. And depending on what it is that you do, what if you find out like you're really good at something, or you make something, you go, wow. And then you make like 10 more of them. And before you know it, like you start making more of that. I mean, you don't know. You might have the possibility of a small little side business inside of you. I want to start saying stuff like that. I never say stuff like that, but it's true. There are women at our age need not think that just because you're like crafting that's all it is just a hobby. You can make money at doing your crafty thing. They have all kinds of craft, and you have probably gone to those kinds of crafts, like the craft festivals, the craft shows where you have bought stuff from sellers. I know I have. And so it is possible. They also have marketplaces online called Etsy is one of them, although they are horrible now But there are other platforms that are slowly rising up to try to compete with them. But there are all kinds of opportunities, to become a little seller. And even if that's all it ever is, it's a little side money with your craft. And maybe it's fun. Maybe you enjoy it. And it's a little side money. It's a little mad money. Isn't that what they used to call it? So, Stephanie says the interesting thing is that it's only in this country where that's one of the first questions people ask when they meet each other. I've traveled to and lived in 46 countries, and no one ever asked me, Stephanie. First of all, 46 countries, that's amazing. But secondly, isn't that funny? I think you have something there. I think Americans do have habits of asking certain questions when we meet each other. I do. I think that we all do it, and I don't even think it's because it's just the way, like, okay, this is a terrible analogy, but you know how, like, so when you've seen dogs, like dogs just have like when they meet each other, they just have like a behavior that they just do automatically to like greet each other. I almost feel like that's what people do. They just have this automatic behavior of how they talk, what they do when they meet somebody. I don't think I would. It's what happens when you meet a younger person. What is the first thing an adult asks a younger person? It's like almost you can't even help yourself. I don't. Stephanie says Americans live to work. People in other countries work to live. There you go. I have actually seen that phrase or heard people say that. So it is true. Hi, Serenity. I see your little face. There you go, Bonnie. Bonnie says, I'm thinking about starting a house cleaning channel so I can maybe earn some money while I clean. Bonnie, I would watch you any day of the week. The house cleaning channels can be first of all, there's two things about house cleaning channels. The first is they're super inspiring to make you want to clean your own house. That's one thing. And I see that all the time. People say that. You want to go clean. And two, it's there's something so soothing and comforting about watching someone like clean, watching like utter destruction, and then watching someone come in and clean it. It's just comforting watching all of that chaos turn into peace. Oh my gosh, it's wonderful. I used to have a thing where I was watching cleaning channels a lot, and there's all different kinds. There's kinds that like people come into like a super cluttered home and they like, make it all magical. There's some that are like hoarder level homes that they'll come in and clean it. And then there's the type where it's just someone's cleaning their own home, but they have got like little kids. So it's like, here's my morning routine. But yeah, people have turned that all into huge brands. It's just cleaning their house. So yeah, girl, I'd totally watch you. Do it. Okay, so Benita asked, this is what AI says you do. As an influencer, I believe everyone has a unique creative spark. I empower others to unleash that potential through papercrafting. I help people discover their inner artists and build confidence in their creative abilities. Well, dang. I'll have to copy that. Here, I'm going to take a screenshot. Benita, was that chat or was that which AI model said that? I asked one of them one time. I forget which one I asked. I think so one of the I took like a little workshop or something, and one of the girls, she created a bot. And this bot was amazing. I called her Tiffany after her. And this bot she designed, like it talks to you like it's your friend. I mean, I felt like I had a friend. And I asked it one time to give me some advice for a reset girl. And they say that they don't have like access to the internet, but I'm like, how could it tell me this stuff about me? And it knew I had started my business in November of 2014. It knew that my community was for women, middle-aged women. But this is funny. So Gemini, which that is my birth sign apparently. So Interesting. Well, thank you, Benita. I'm going to rip that one off. There you go. There's my answer. I shall wonder no more. I will just pull that out of my card. Just read it. Angela says she also gets stuck watching someone pack their purse, their bag. It's crazy. You know what's so great about those ones, Angela, is the sound everything makes. All the little zippers, the snapping and clicking. I swear that is why people love those videos so much, is the total ASMR experience of listening to someone pack their bag, and it's just all those delicious little sounds. Totally. It's just like, ooh, Mufasa. I think I missed something up here. Oh, okay. Divine Well Designs. I think I figured out was trying to figure out where we find the photo prompts, but think they're in the journal. Okay, so it depends which level of membership you're in. If you're in the members nook, there is a separate printable for just the photo challenge page. And if you're in the Explorers Lounge, it is inside the cozy journal. That is the answer. And do you want to share with me your name? Or you can keep your YouTube super secret name. That's totally fine. But if you want to share with me your name, then I'll have that. Shar, if you're still there, could you email me at Corey@theresetgirl.com? And hi, Allison. There you go. She says, I say, own it, Corey. I will and I shall, Allison. Thank you for the support. Hi, Serenity. Where's the homestead? In the state of Washington, in the Puget Sound area. Miss Glitter and Duct Tapes says she always says that she's an artist. So how do you guys refer to yourself? Do you ladies call yourselves a crafter? Do you say I'm an artist? Do you say I'm a paper designer? Idea. But do you call yourself a crafter, an artist? What is your word? What is the word that you use to describe yourself? And Chris, I think you said you call yourself a crafter. A crafter. I remember that before. Benita says, I go to RV rallies all the time. No one is selling stickers at the rallies. That's why we need you. That's awesome. So what did you say? Are you taking your pink Jeep to your RV rallies? Microphone. Yeah, do it or something. Nina. Okay. Thank you. I like having people's name. I try to use names whenever I can. And I have my little notebook up there. I'm going to just write it down. I was very delighted that I got to see some ladies tonight that either have been lurking and are just coming out of the shadows to say hello. Oh, you do? Oh, no, I did go. I went up. Divine Janan. Okay. So yes, you did figure it out, Janan. You are at the explorer level. It is in your book. Birdie. What a cute name. It looks like you know Shar. Shar, I put that. I'm drawing a blank. So my beautiful craft room I had before I was in the RV. I had a craft room for the first time in my whole life. I had it for I don't know how many months. And I just saw the beautiful little notebook, the little with the honey on it. And I just saw it like 2 nights ago. I saw it in the picture. I was like looking real close, and I saw it was from you. And then look, you're here, alive. It's amazing. Okay, Janice says crafter. Artist, crafter, and maker. Aw, Janice sent Chris to bed. All right. I'll hope you don't mind, Janice. Okay, so purpose, poetry, and planning. Nita. If anyone else wants to tell me their name, I recognize that name. Aw, I'm so glad to see your little face. Bonnie, a dining room table will work. Good night, Floor. It's good to see you. Artist, crafter, maker. My husband says no matter what you call me, like paper crafter, it doesn't truly describe what I do. Well, there you go. Yes, true, Denise. Helping people forget their real life for a bit while creating. True, true, true. Isn't that so true? So like so Birdie and Shar here, like some people like okay, so there's like next level crafting. I feel like I'm on the basic level. And I'm not saying that to like I'm not trying to be self-deprecating. I'm being what I think is more realistic. I don't really know how to do mixed media layers and like all the different kinds of like techniques because there's a lot of techniques in mixed media pieces. Shar, I'm pretty sure in the chat, I'm pretty sure one of your workshops. I want to say did you do? I'm pretty sure that was the one you did it in. And you're always going to be my more advanced for people who are more advanced and want more stimulating level of crafting. But I'm a more basic person. Like my type of like the crafting level is probably more of like what I guess a collage person is like. I don't think all like a collage artist. They're not necessarily mixed media people. They don't necessarily add the different layers of like paints and inks and all of that. They might just be like lay down some paper with some glue stick and that's it, they're done. So I think that's the category I fit in where it's a bit more basic level, and maybe I will add some basic embellishment, and I think that's totally fine. You can do some amazing stuff at that level. I think it is. But yes, Shard, that's what I was asking about, the camp workshop. I think that's the one that you did. I think it was Camp Wannacraft. That was the big campy one with like the many workshops that we did. Circles and word strip layering is about as advanced as I get. See, exactly. Like there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's you can do a lot with a word strip and a circle. So anyway, so to in closing, let me see, make sure. Jen's Crafts and Journals said memory keeper crafter. Anita said I'm a paper crafter. And hello to everybody that I missed that was kind of came in a little bit later. I'm seeing different little answers. So I was also checking to see if there was any things. Thanks, Shar, for emailing me. Been on Instagram in forever. I'm gonna have to do that now. Oh, thank you, Bertie, for showing up tonight. That was very sweet. And Shar, that was really nice to see you both. Hello, Miss Kathy. And there you go, Benita. She says, I work full-time outside the home, but when people ask what I do, I say I'm a wife because that is my most important role. And I'm most proud of that. Oh, yeah. I think I'm pretty mediocre at that too. I have to work on that one. Aw. Ephemera. I totally think I said that wrong. That just came out totally wrong. Ephemera. I've been saying that word correctly for years and it just came out totally wrong. I'm an ephemera collector and curator. Isn't the word curate so fantastic? Okay. I'm really good at. Yes. All right. We're curators. Let's do this. Okay. So here's where I'm leaving you all. Okay, so I did update our calendar. The next time we are having a Late Night Crafty Club is the 24th. So that means those of you who are in the Explorers Lounge, that means your tea party is the very next day. So we're going to have the Late Night Crafty Club, and then the next day is the tea party. And I did that on purpose. So hopefully that doesn't mess you up. But I did do that on purpose because I felt like it'll kind of springboard you right into the next day, and it'll almost feel a little bit like a retreat. Give you a little taste of what that will feel like. Where you have one session at night, and then the very next day, I'm going into a class. Although it's not like a morning thing. I think I picked like 12 noon or something like that, but that is on the calendar. So it is the 24th. We will be having our next Late Night Crafty Club. So between tonight and then, I am just encouraging you to do some curation of your supplies, to kind of isolate some paper that is fabulous, some embellishments that you love, whether they're kind of like fabulous, it could be anything, clips, enamel dots. I'm only saying that because I love them so much. Die cuts, but like the whole gamut. Go through your stuff. I don't know what you have. I'm not asking you to buy anything. I'm just saying shop your stash and see what you like. What you have in there that you're just like, oh, I forgot I had these. These are delicious. Now, if you go through your stuff and nothing's delicious. You don't see anything delicious in there. I'm not going to tell you that you shouldn't treat yourself to some one thing. I have found that my supplies are the number one thing that inspires me. Number one thing. It is not a project. It is not a project. That is not what inspires me. It is my stuff. And what I get the most bang for my buck is, more than anything else, is paper. So getting a 12 by 12 sheet of scrapbook paper can be one of the best investments because that will stretch so far. Hobby Lobby, if you have one near you, that one can be a really great place to go to, or Michael's. I'm going to take that little bit less on Michael's. I find that Hobby Lobby has better paper in store to shop from. They will. Okay, let me say this. Those two are not my number one paper sources. Those are like backup paper stores. I like them for certain things, but what I generally like to shop for paper is scrapbook.com, because they will get the American Crafts kind of paper. They'll get they'll get all of the scrapbook lines. And those are the collections I really am interested in. Even if I just generally I'll get like a sheet here, a sheet there. I will place an order from them. That's where I'll get my enamel dots from. So I tend to go-to is scrapbook.com for me, before I go to a Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby doesn't get any of those type of paper stuff. And when they do, it's usually the pads, and that paper is very thin. It's not the thicker card stock. They tend to sell their own line in-house, brand in the thick card stock. It's not going to be the beautiful, gorgeous design houses that I personally like. So that's just how I do my shopping. A lot of times what happens in Hobby Lobby and Michael's is I got it because it was on sale paper. That's the type of paper I associate with them. It's like, I got it because it was on sale. Oh, it was such a good sale. It was 10 sheets for $1. That's the level of paper. I don't find any of that paper inspiring to me. So go where it inspires you. But that to me is a supply that is inexpensive for how much you get out of it. So that would be a good place to start is go through your paper collection and then your embellishments and your tools. So curate yourself stuff that you're going to love crafting with. That is my first recommendation to you. And then it is sort of narrowing down, okay, what kind of project do I want to start off with? Because that's a really easy thing. You can easily start with like, I'll do a mini art. I'll do a pocket art. I'll do a card. I mean, that's the easy thing. But you getting the right supplies together, getting the right vibe, treat it like you're a designer and I'm curating my materials. What do I want to design this season? And you can think of it that way. This is your seasonal collection. I've been watching a lot of Project Runway lately. so, so don't be surprised if I sound like this. So good night. Good night, Shelly K. Sorry, I'm getting hi Debbie Farnham. I'm getting caught up in your little comments here. I wish I had an Ollie's. I don't know where that is. Ollie's discount store. Where is Ollie's? I've never heard of this place. I miss having an Archivers just down the road. They were my mecca of paper crafting. I've heard of Archivers. I've gotten to see a little bit of the rest of the country and like the type of craft stores that are out and about. So I've seen a few things out there. I've seen an Archivers store. I've seen a Ben Franklin's. Trying to think of like I know Tuesday morning, right? They have them in Florida. Huh. I see. Okay. Hi, Jan. We have Ollie's in West Virginia. Okay. I missed Ollie's. Okay. Ray says that Tuesday morning used to be good, but since 2020, they haven't been so great. Oh, Cece said that they closed most of their stores. Boo. Gotcha. Okay. Well, maybe Ollie's is more of a southern East Coasty thing. Okay. Oh, Tuesday morning and Archivers are out of business. Oh, bummer. All right. Well, they went bankrupt and closed all. That's sad. Okay. Well, I was pretty excited when I went into Tuesday morning and found a Reset Girl product there. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but yeah, I was excited because I loved Tuesday morning. And one of my simple stories, the little 6x6. That's why I would go to Tuesday morning was because they always had the little 6x6 paper pads, which they're my favorites. But they had it in the Reset Girl collection, and I was just like excited to see that. I don't know why. And they had a pack of the little clips, the little metal clips. They had those in there too. So, yeah, if you're doing any kind of like paper crafting, like little paper crafting, those little paper pads, most of them are like 6x8 now. At least they are with American Crafts. They tend to make them the 6x8. Those are a really, really good size. That's what I tend to buy now. For that type of crafting because the scale is telling you to go buy stuff. I'm just saying if you are kind of like going through and you just find that you're just having that meh kind of feeling, my go-to for when I'm feeling a little meh about my stuff is to freshen it up with some paper. I don't go crazy and get all the paper. I just get some and I mix it in with my current paper. And I find that I get like some new combinations and I get some like just breathe fresh life into it. And it's just like, ooh, it does so much. Paper is just such a fantastic makeover for your your supplies. I mean, it's everything when you think about it. It's like the foundation of your work. It's really your canvas, when you think about it. So that is my suggestion. Oh, yay. Birdie says she has some from Tuesday morning. So yeah, I have a few Reset Girl things from my Simple Stories collection. It's sitting up there in my little what do you call that? What do you call that when you put something? It's like my little time capsule. Oh, look, see, some of you guys found stuff at Tuesday morning too. How cool. I don't know. I don't know if that's a bad thing. Like when people find like your book at like the Dollar Tree or something, or it almost seems like it's like not Dollar Tree. That's not what I meant. When someone sells a product and then it ends up in a place like Ross, it feels like that was a failure. Like it didn't sell, so we stuck it over there, like they bought it. So I know that is kind of what happened with Tuesday morning is they bought something at a discount, but I didn't care. I was so excited that it was a Tuesday morning because to me, that was a cool store. And it's still fun to walk in and see your brand. So, so it was sold at Hobby Lobby, and that's probably how it got to Tuesday morning. I can't think of any other reason that it would have been there. But the thing is, the stuff that they had wasn't sold at two of the items they had wasn't sold at Hobby Lobby. So that's what's confusing. And then there was another store in the state of here in Washington. I can't think of the name off the top of my head. They also had it. So I've gotten to walk into 3 stores that the name of it is just is it Ben Franklin that I'm thinking of? Is that the name of the store? Franklin Crafts? Is that it? Okay. I've been into 2 of these. I actually taught a workshop at one of them, and I'm forgetting the name of it. So it was just such an honor to see your little brand. You're on an end cap. And then Whimsidoodle, which is a different type of store. That's kind of like, I don't know, that felt more boutique. It was just such a special little magical store. That really was. There was no store like Whimsidoodle. Yeah, I'm not going to put Whimsidoodle in that category because it's like a little scrapbook store, and I actually went to a few like that, and they're just different. This is like more like a retail store that's way different. Yeah, we'll just separate those. Okay, it's kind of fun to think about. I don't know. I feel it's kind of bittersweet in a way when I look at them. It's like a different world, a different era. Anyway, right? It's like Planners Franklin. Hi, Jan. Right, me too, Jan. I'm glad you guys are all like, I'm not going to use these. That's how I feel. I don't want to use them either. Is that some things are like that where I just don't want to use them. I have a few little craft market things, the craft market collection things from Crate Paper that I don't want to use either or October Afternoon. You don't want to use your October Afternoon things because you can't ever replace it. But I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, Maggie Holmes stuff. Some of her older stuff. Oh, can't use it and can't part with it. Okay, so hopefully in all of that, I managed to send out a little encouraging message to you, and I know I kind of like was a little bit all over the place, but I gave you some kind of plan to go forward and kind of look at your stuff and do an assessment is what I would, and therefore you can just ignore everything I said. But if you are, feeling like I feel like I should probably do an assessment, then yes, please. This is an excellent time to do it. And then we will reconvene on the 25th for the Late Night Crafty Club. No, wait, sorry. The 24th. The 24th at 5 p.m. Email a newsletter the day before to remind you. So usually that second newsletter of the month is usually when I tuck a little goodie in it of some type, something of some kind. Don't want to make promises, but there might be something in there. So if you are not subscribed to the Late Night Crafty Club newsletter, I would encourage you to do so. All that happens is you get 2 emails from me a month, and all they are is letting you know, hey, there's a Late Night Crafty Club, and here's the schedule for the month, and I miss your face. I love you. here's some information. And then there's another one that says I'm going live, and here's the time, and here's a discount code, and maybe there's some extra little fun thing in there. And I love you. And that's it. And that's it. That's all I do. So that is all. I do not abuse your email in any way. Emails. I try to be very good about that. So, if anything, I'm going to be more than anything, I'm going to try to be a better emailer in 2025. I shared this in my TRG newsletter, where I just gave you, if you're on my newsletter list, I just gave you your first. I contributed to your little mini wall art collection. I gave you a 5x7 print. If you are subscribed to the Reset Girl newsletter, I gave you a little wall print art thing because I'm going to create one and I want you to create one too, because then we'll be twinsies. And I'm trying to send more frequently, shorter and more frequently. We'll see how that goes. Did you know that some people send a weekly newsletter? I'm on some of those lists. I was trying to imagine myself sending a weekly newsletter. Would that irritate you if I sent you a newsletter every single week? I'm not even saying like, buy this, buy this. It wouldn't be like that. I'm just saying I send you a newsletter. Sometimes it's just like, here's some cool stuff I found. Here's something I curated. All it would be. Most of them are benign. I generally only tell you about stuff I have in the store like once a month. But would that annoy you if you were getting a weekly email? Now, some of these emails don't bother me because they're about business. They're about like the stuff I'm doing. So yeah, I'm interested. I'll open them. But I don't know if I have that much of an important thing to say to you. Boy. All right. Char says, go for it. Well, you can see you guys are so sweet. You guys are sweet. See, but I'm the kind of person, as much as I try not to be, I am the kind of person that takes sending an email. You know what it is? And a lot of people are like this, so it's not just me. I have this thing about emailing, like it feels like I'm bugging you, almost like cringing, like, oh, I'm bugging them. And then I put too much stuff in it. It's too long. I don't send them enough, like just happy emails. And all I ever get around to doing is sending them like, I have something in the store. So it's terrible. So I have this terrible back and forth thing where I feel like I'm abusing our friendship. So I used to send, if you guys remember back in the day, it was a long time ago, I used to have the weekly reset. I would say like, here's something I found about this and here's something about this. And it would just be like a website about decluttering. And then here's a blog post about this. So I would just kind of curate a few little things for you. I really liked that. That was kind of fun, but I don't know. You guys are very sweet. You give me way too much credit that I'm going to actually send you something worth reading. All right. I will try to find a way to like incorporate more of like these little parts of our discussion. Maybe I'll have AI listen to this conversation and then say, okay, can you give me 4 succinct bullet points from our discussion? And then that will be the emails that I send out. There, done. That's what I'll do. All right. Thank you, Cece. You guys are very, very sweet. You're way too good to me. And did you guys like my email? I'm just going to unashamedly ask. I spent 3 days working on that email. But here's what I have to say. I am so, so, so proud of myself learning how to use that design software and getting it to snow. I did that all on my own. Mark didn't even have to help me. I had a lot of fun designing the new header and getting just getting everything all of the graphics done. I did all of that, but it took a long time. I'm going to get better and faster at it over time, but yeah, it took a while. I know. I am hard on myself. I'm very hard on myself, which is why I'm not a very I'm very infrequent at the stuff that I do. It is why it's why I'm still a messy person 10 years into this and you wouldn't know. Um, thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you. The only reason why I'm asking you is because I really truly am proud of myself. I've always wanted to send you guys pretty emails, like nice emails, and it's frustrated me so much that I don't know how to use like or make things nice looking. And I found use Canva and make like really cute little graphics. So I finally have something, like I finally have knowledge. I did it. You know what, Cece? I do. I have, as soon as I get myself going down the track a little faster, then I will switch gears and I have a couple things that I want to do because I've been making some like really fun I think I've been making some fun artwork. So I have like a whole collection of ladies like this that are wearing like flower crowns and crowns of all kinds. I have like scripture cards, quote cards. I have all these fun little cards I've been doing. So once I start getting those out, I have some really cute ones that are like vintage photos that I've reimagined and put like butterfly wings on them and all kinds of cute things. I'm going to get them on, see if I can get them onto like notebook covers and all kinds of different things. So I just got to, and then I'll, so anyway, so wonderful to stick with my newsletter list as long as you have. And I just wanted it to be really awesome. I wanted it to be cool for 2025. And so that's why I put so much effort into it because I just wanted it to be really a pretty newsletter and something you wanted to open. You would want to open in the future. So anyway, there you go. Transformation. That's a great word. I like that, Nina. So that is another thing in the Cozy Craftivity Journal. If you do not have a copy of it, if you're not interested in joining the Clubhouse, you can buy this on your own. I am going to be having a whole like word of the year. Your word of the year, there's going to be a journaling spread about your word in every issue of the Cozy Journal. So every month you're going to be thinking about your word, thinking about how it's being incorporated into your life, in areas of personal growth, in your creative practice, in your daily living, and in the connections in your life, meaning the relationships in your life, community, how you share and teach. So it's going to be prompting you to think about your word and to really get that because you've decided to do this, you've chosen a word or it chose you. And so you are setting your kind of goals or intentions, however you want to look at that. And then how did that work out for you? So that's what's included in one of the spreads in the journal. So those of you who have chosen your word for the year, that is in there, which is a kind of a nice feature, and it will continue all year long. So sometimes that word kind of drops off for people. They kind of stop thinking about it, or they don't really know how to think about it or how to start weaving it into their life. So I included that in there so that it would really keep you on track all year long. So just a thought. Okay, so thank you, Cece. Um, well, thanks, Bonnie. I love that. That is that's that's definitely a selling point. Um, and also the other thing I wanted to point out too is your year in review is the very next page. So thinking about how the year went, it has a lot of journaling opportunities in it, which is really, I think is kind of fun. And then you have setting goals and you're focusing on your self-care. So we're at the age, ladies, where we need to be taking care of ourselves, mind, body, and spirit. all the way around. So more than ever before, this is where it gets serious. This is where things begin to fall apart. So we all need to be mindful of those things, especially, because in my day-to-day life, I don't get up very much. When you're here working all the time, for those of us who have sedentary jobs, your body starts to really, 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 it starts to catch up to you how much sitting is really taking a toll on your body. I notice that more than ever. So I definitely think that will be a fun conversation. I was just asked about pens. So I have two pens so my go-to pen, and this is preference, but I really like needle tip pens. So one of the pens, my go-to, but is the friction clicker. Sorry, it's the friction clicker, and this is the 0.5. So I replace the ones, the little tips that it comes with. They have two types of tips, and I use the kind that is the really sharp, extra fine point. So that's one of them, and I just bought this one today. This is the Energel liquid gel ink, and it is the 0.7, and it's got the sharp needle tip. This is regular ink. It's not erasable. So it's really the tip that I really like. It's that really fine needle tip. This Energel liquid ink, the Pentel, I know this is a really popular pen, but they have the needle tip type now. And this is bomb. So if you prefer that type of ink, and I think the benefit of this, even though it's not erasable, the ink is so shiny. It's like so inky black, and it just writes like a dream. I do like the friction. I don't mind the fact it doesn't have that deep dark ink, because I could just rub all my mistakes away. So it depends on what you prefer. But I just bought this from walmart.com, and I got it, and it was totally love at first, right? So these two are my for colored ink, and I use them all the time. I only have the dupes. I don't have, it's the I can't show them to you because I don't actually have it. I'll have it next time. It's the ones that have the I only have the dupe pens. I don't want to show those to you because those were not the ones I intended to buy. Okay. Okay. So we will did I miss anything? Okay. So I'm going to I'm going to wrap things up, and then I will see you guys on the 24th, and hopefully you'll be reporting back if you decided to do some cleanup, that you'll be having a whole new little craft kit, some supplies you've thought about, like what you want to do, or have a plan. Either way, maybe you just have a plan in mind what you're gonna do. Okay. All right, you guys, I love your little faces. I'm so glad to have seen so many of you that I don't normally get to see. It's always so fun to go live. I never know who's going to show up. Sometimes I don't get to see little faces that I haven't seen in a very long time, and it's just such a blessing. Thank you, Angela. I was so happy to see your little face. Um, and good night to you, Miss Charlene. Good night, Janice, to you and Chris. And I hope you guys are all doing good. Get cozy. Enjoy those of you who are getting snow. Super jealous. Enjoy it. I love your little faces, you guys. Have a wonderful, restful weekend, and I will see you very soon. Thank you. Love your little faces. Mwah. Bye, everybody. Bye, bye, bye.
Gather round, it's Friday night. paper, scissors, let's get started. With vintage tape, we'll be wholehearted. Every honey deserves her day in the sun. With enamel dots, we're ready for fun. Layer in circles and punch stars too. In the Late Night Crafty Club, it's all for you. Glue sticks ready, let's make a plan. Planners in the office, supplies in hand. Honey half-season, whimsy arrows, crafting magic like true heroes. Every honey deserves her dots, we're ready for fun. Layer in circles and punch stars too. In the Late Night Crafty Club, it's all for you. Let's create a scene. Join the club where we live our dreams. So grab your scissors and come along. Together we'll craft and sing our song. Every honey deserves her day in the sun. With enamel dots, we're ready for fun. Layer in circles and punch stars too. In the Late Night Crafty Club, it's all for you. It's all for you. Slip into jammies, grab something to sip. Stickers and golden scissors, let's take a crafty trip. The playbook's open with listers, got a list. In this crafty paradise, our dreams coexist. Every honey deserves her day in the sun. With enamel dots, we're ready for fun. Layer in circles and punch stars too. In the Late Night Crafty Club, it's all for you. It's all for you. Cards and pockets display our creativity. 32-pound paper, so smooth and buttery. Scrapture cards help your ideas flow. What will you make during the Late Night Crafty show? Cards and pockets display our creativity. 32-pound paper, so smooth and buttery. Scrapture cards help your ideas flow. What will you make during the Late Night Crafty show?